It's been a while since we've had a catch up, so this is going to be a new Sandra Makes. So we're a few weeks away from Valentine's Day, and I did promise quite a while ago now that I would do a little bit of a crochet demonstration. So I'm going to show you a little piece of work this week, which hopefully you'll like. It's quite a small piece, so if you do want to give it a go, it shouldn't take too long to make, and I'll put in the link below the where I found the pattern that I'm working to. So I just had a first go last week and I think it turned out quite okay. I'll show you that shortly. Before I do, my elderflower wine has been maturing nicely, so I thought I'll treat myself to a glass of elderflower wine as I go. It's a really nice, light, refreshing wine, not at all heavy, a little bit fragrant, so I do enjoy a little bit of elderflower wine once in a while. And so that's going down very well. And I also want to share with you my garlic propagation. So I hope you can see there, I've got lots of roots now and shoots as well, and so the next job will be to split off each of the garlic cloves to make a new garlic plant. So I think I'll start them off in the greenhouse initially and then plant them out when they're a little bit bigger. We've still not quite got the raised beds properly sorted out yet, so anyway, so I'll try starting them off in pots for now, I think, and see how we go. So really pleased how well they've grown, and I've got a second little pot going now as well. And a little crochet project I'm going to share with you is this. So I've been learning how to make little crochet hearts. So that's what we're going to do. So I've got the printed off instructions here, but it's not my method, it's just one that I found online. So I said I will, it doesn't say, you know, who to give credit to on the printed sheet, which is a bit of a shame. So I'll go back and find it and make sure that that goes in the description as the person who put together that little method. So it's quite a nice, fairly easy one just to try if you've not tried crochet before, and it's not too big. If it goes wrong, it's not a big disaster. So I thought that might be nice to do next. So I'm just going to get all my wool sorted and then change the camera angle so that you can see my hands working. And hopefully, if you haven't had a go at crochet before, you can give it a try. So I'm not an expert crochet worker by any means. I'm just do, as you probably notice, a dabble in a bit of that, a bit of this and a bit of that and the other. So as I say, if you want more expert advice, I'm sure there's plenty out there. But yeah, we did have a specific request to do a little bit of crochet. So a little bit of crochet we will do. So I hope you can all see that okay. So I've got my ball of wool there. That's just my little model one. And so I won't need scissors till later, but I might use scissors later on. Let's go show myself a bit more. Okay, so the first thing to do will be to make a little loop to get started. So you need to leave a tail end and then put one outside over the other, put the thread through the back and pull, and then you've got a starting loop. So I'll just do that one more time. I think often starting is almost the hardest bit. So take the wool, twist it around, take one side to the back, loop it through, pull it till it's a bit tighter, and you have your starting loop. So this is double knit wool, acrylic, Wendy wool, and this is my needle. So this is a 3.5mm needle, size 5, I believe. Yep, size 5. So my fingers aren't as agile as they used to be, so you can go and now get hooks with thicker handles that are a little bit easier to hold as well. Right, so now I'm going to put the loop through the hole that I've made, put the crochet hook through the hole loop that I made, I should say. And then there's different ways of holding the wool, so I'm experimenting still because it's a long while since I've done this. I've been doing a couple around one finger, back the other way around the forefinger. But the main thing is you're going to take the hook around behind the wool, pull it through the hole, and that's your first chain stitch. And then I need 11 of those. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So I'm going to make 10 UK double knit stitches, but the 11th stitch is to kind of go up the side, if that makes sense. So that's my bottom row. I'm now going to work back the other way, but it's to make everything a nice square shape at the end. So I'm going to go back and into the second hole. So it's once round, it's going to loop once around my crochet hook into the second hole, back through, and then through the first 2 loops on the crochet hook, and then through the other 2, so I'm back to 1 stitch again on the hook, and then I'm going to go around the hook once and then go into the next hole along to the left, pull that through, and then go through the first 2, pull back, hook around again through the next 2, and then I'm going to keep doing that until I get to the end of the row. So around the needle, I keep saying needle, around the hook, through the next hole along to the left, hook through the arm, back around the crochet hook again, through the first 2 loops. So you need a bit more tension on it. So if you keep some tension as you're pulling through, it goes through the loops easier. First 2, second 2, and you're back to 1 stitch again. So I'm just going to keep doing that all the way along. And then when I've done that, I basically need to do another 10 rows, and then we'll end up with hopefully a crocheted square, and that's our starting point. So I'm going to pause for a while until I get to the end of this row, and I'll show you how to turn and come back the other way and then keep going. Super. So I've got my first little row of 10 stitches. I've got to the left end, and I'm now going to do a single crochet. So take loop 1 round the hook once, pull it through. So I've basically gone up 1 level, and then I'm going to turn the work around, and then I'm going to now double crochet back the other way, making sure I go right to the end so I don't get a curve at the end. So again, round the crochet hook into the first hole. So I'm going through the top 2 loops, as it were, so it makes like a more firm finish. So there'll be how to explain, 2 layers of wool on the very top where you've worked through. So I've got my 3 again on the crochet hook, so again wrap round, pull through 2, back, round again, pull through the other 2, and you've got 1 there again, and then back next through the next hole to the left, pull up through the first 2 holes, through the second 2 holes. So you make the extra hole by looping the thread around. So basically just going to repeat that pattern all the way to the end, and I'll just stop when I get to the end and show you how that looks. Super. So I've got to the end of row 2, so I just kept going, and then just to make sure it's definitely square, if you do lose count of your stitches, it's honestly not the end of the world, it just needs to look square. So like here I've actually put a second stitch in to make sure I get the square shape. So it's not perfect, but it's still square, so I'm going to carry on. And I seem to, I think, have 9 stitches rather than 10, but I'm just trying to make a square, so that's kind of okay. So then I'm going to go up 1 chain stitch up, turn the work, and then I'm going to just do exactly the same. I'll probably do an extra one at the end just to make sure it's nice and square. So I'll do one more, but hopefully you've got the idea. It's just the same, so it's all around the back. Oh, hang on, because I'm very out of practice, but ideally you want some way to get some tension on the yarn as well. And then once around the back of the crochet hook, through the 2 loops at the top of the previous stitch to the left, round the hook again from the back, pull it through 2, round the back of the hook again, pull it through the next 2, you've got a single stitch, and then start the whole thing again until you get to the end. So I'm not going to film that bit now, I'm just going to crack on and do a few more rows. Okay, so I've got to the end of that row. I haven't, sorry, counted the rows. Probably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, probably 9 rows. So somehow I ended up with 9 stitches per row rather than 10, but it's not the end of the world. So I've got my up chain, so I've got to the end of that row, and then I'm just going to double check one thing. I'm sure it said do not turn or something. Oh, you do turn, okay. So at this stage we do turn this time, so it's the next bit that we don't turn. So what we do then is we want to go to about the middle, so we're going to skip 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Going to the 5th hole. But this time we're going to do triple crochet, and we're going to go into the same hole 12 times. So for a triple crochet, it's round the back twice, once, twice, and then through the hole about in the middle, should be about the 4th or 5th, pull through, and then you'll have a gap where you've missed the stitches, but don't worry about that. Round the back again, pull through once, round the back again, pull through twice, just 2 stitches each time, and then pull through, and oh, it's a little bit, okay, it's a little bit gappy. I might do that again actually. Why does that look a bit gappy? So round twice, through the middle hole, back, 2 stitches, 2 stitches, 2 stitches, and you're back to 1 on the crochet needle. I'm just going to check one detail again. It's always good to just double check the method. Okay. Yeah, that's right. And then do that again 11 more times. So round, through the same hole, take back 2, take back 2, take back 2, and then it's actually triple crochet, 1 stitch left, and do that again, through, like so. So it looks about like that at the moment. So I'm just going to do 9 more, and then we'll rejoin and I'll show you the next step. Okay, so I hope you can see that's now making one side of the heart shape, and then what I'm going to do then is to join that corner. We go right into the corner. Hope you can see that. So just go into the very corner stitch, pick up the yarn with the hook from behind, but we're not going to make a stitch, we're just going to pull it through to join on that side. So that's called a slip stitch. And now I'm going to do triple stitch, so again 2 times around and then through the middle of the what was the side. So it says don't turn your work, so we put that through about in the middle, probably there, I hope, and then pull that through, and we're going to start again doing our 3 triple stitch. So 1, 2, 3, round the crochet needle twice, back through the same hole, 1, 2, 3. You'll notice I'm not being very consistent with this other hand, so you can get some tension just from here, or you can try and twiddle it around, but it just seems to keep untwiddling again, so I'm not sure about that anyway. So that's the start. So I'm going to do a bit like I did before, and we're going to do another 10 triple crochet into the same hole halfway down the side. So I'm going to pause the camera again because it's basically what we've done before. I just need to do 12 more of them, and then I'll rejoin you after that. There we go. So to be clear, probably should have said it was actually 12 in total triple crochet for each round bit for the heart shape. Okay, so I've done those 12 now along the other side, and then the last thing to do now, so I've got 1 stitch left there after my last triple crochet, and I go into the corner again. So just pop the needle through into the corner, pull the thread through, pull the thread through again, and that is the work mostly finished. So I'm just going to pull the loop through for now. So I'm going to cut my yarn. So I'm done with that for now. So I hope you can see I now have 2 little hearts. So what you can do is you can damp the shape a little. Excuse me, rasher hairs get everywhere. So many rasher hairs. Anyway, so obviously I'll need to tidy up the ends. So what I did on this side was I just used the hook of the crochet to pull through, just looped it around a few times to tuck it in. So that's how I finished that one off. And as I say, with a little bit teasing out, get a bit more heart shape. But yeah, so that is quite an easy way to make a little Valentine's heart. So I will just, yeah, so with your last loop, if you take the thread, make sure it's the right one, and just pull it through with the loop, that'll basically knock that off. And then basically just to make it look a bit tidier, so you can sort of pop through, just loop it through a couple of times, a few times. And again. And then one last time, and then I can cut that. And then you can see at the moment that edge isn't quite as straight. I think that's why they were saying maybe to pin it out on a board or something, just to get a little bit of a nicer shape. But I must admit, this one that I finished the other day or the weekend, it already looks a bit smoother along that edge as well. So, and then this end again just needs weaving in. So it's probably a bit too long. So again, just popping through, pull it through. Or you could take a tapestry needle and just weave it in so it's not too visible. That should do, I think. And then you can trim off the last little bit. Super, so I've now got 2 little hearts. Not sure what happened there though. Okay, anyway. Right, so as I say, honestly, it doesn't matter if it's not perfect. So that is, ooh, it's a bit straighter. So that's what I've been doing. So I've been learning to make crochet hearts. What I've just noticed is that, it's not worth going back to bother with, but there's a little extra loop here that should have been in with the next stitch, and I must have just missed it, which is a little bit annoying, but it's not. Okay, yeah, I know what it is. It's just where I was joining in to start the treble crochet for that part of the heart. But anyway, so I hope you like that little demonstration. As I say, I'm not the best crocheter, so if I can give it a go, I'm sure you could give it a go too, if you want to have a little bit of fun with that. Anyway, tell you something for sure. After a lot fiddling around and things, and trying to keep everything still and taut and the right tension. So I hope that you enjoyed this little demonstration of making these little Valentine hearts. It's just a few days away now until the big day, so if you do fancy giving it a go, you can. So they're quite quick to make. And so I do need to share the link with the description for them, the method I was using. That'll be in the description below. If you've got any other ideas about what you would like me to have a go at, or any suggestions what it might be fun to see or make or bake or do or anything like that, do drop something down in the comments. And thanks so much for watching this one. If you've enjoyed it, you might maybe want to give us a like and maybe even a subscribe. Feel free to do that, and otherwise we'll see you on the next Sandra Makes.